Good afternoon, viewers at home. You are welcome once again to today's edition of the program in the newsroom. My name is Kayode Adebayo. Yeah, we are here once again with issues of national importance. And we have them under 3 topics. The first topics to be looked at has to do with the probe initiated by the National Assembly over the missing 17 billion naira at the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund. And it comes under this heading, 17 billion naira probe, termite eat-up document, MD, NSITF. Then secondly, we are going to look at the PDP crisis, where the pressure is mounting on the chairman of the party, Senator Yochia Ayu, that he should resign, paving way for probably a southerner to come on board as the chairman once the presidential candidate happens to be the northerner. Then, thirdly, we are going to look at the readiness of Nigerian army to deal with terrorism, as recently said by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, saying the army ready to deal with terrorism. Why now? Why not before now? I have my guests in the house to discuss the issues with me here today. Sitting closer to me, or closest to me of all the guests, is Shola Ajiboye. Shola, you are welcome on the program once again.
Well, it's my pleasure, Howdy. Good afternoon, viewers, and thanks for being there.
Yeah, thank you very much. Wale Olayemi is also here with me in the house. Wale, you are welcome on the program.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Seyi Adeniyi, you're also welcome on the program.
Thanks so much. Good afternoon, viewers at home.
Okay.
Maybe after the program, I will give you this scalp. It's trying to tell us, maybe it's no longer your it's trying to belong.
Okay. Yeah, now let's start the business. 17 billion naira probe, termite eat-up document. Shola, this is coming on the heels of the appearance of the managing director of Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, telling the lawmakers that the document regarding the alleged missing 17 billion naira has been eaten up by the termites. Shola, what do you have to say?
Well, maybe after the saga of snake swallowing, an humongous amount of money, we now have termites now eating up documents that will reveal those who are culpable in the disappearance of
17 billion naira.
17 billion naira. Yeah. Well, it's amusing, which means there are terminologies for every corrupt act, done in Nigeria now. So we are now having a new dictionary or a lexicon of words or languages to define corruption. Sooner or later, maybe corruption itself will now enter into another dictionary as another name. Because right now, what is happening is that we have prefixes now. Snake swallowing money, termites eating up documents. I don't know what will happen. Maybe we now have lions, devouring, safe or whatever, or rhinos breaking into safes and destroying it. So, but be that as it may, it shows a very sad situation for Nigeria, and it shows that some of those who are holding public offices are no longer ashamed of anything. I can just say anything, anyhow, anywhere, without considering the implications. So we are talking of a country already at the lowest index, or maybe at the highest index of corrupt nations, and nothing is being done to even abate it, or to prevent further damage of the country's name and reputation in whatever form. So it's beyond executive recklessness to gross unprecedented irresponsibility by those who are holding privileged positions in Nigeria today. And of course, the effects will keep ramming down into the fabrics. And of course, the greatest victims are the up and coming Nigerians in the board, Nigerians who may even be thinking that they have a country. But when they get to know of all these things, the pronouncements, the irresponsible pronouncements by so-called holders of public positions, then they will have little or no hope for Nigeria. Because right now we have been talking about Nigerians leaving Nigeria, Nigerians leaving Nigeria in groups. As a matter of fact, Nigerians are running away from Nigeria. Nigerians are running away from Nigeria. Nigeria is now in dearth of professionals. In all fields, it's not just there. In all fields, running out of this country, and utterances like this will not even give any hope. It's only those of us maybe who are even old now, who also have led Nigeria some 40 or 50 years ago, but we did not leave. That where do we go? Let our children just go, because you cannot tell your children that somebody who is holding public office is saying that, and you want that children or that child now to think that he has a country.
All right.
So that's the way I see it.
While the 17 billion naira probe, termite eat up documents, are you not concerned?
Well, ordinarily, any other patriotic Nigerian will be concerned that this is happening now. But I think some of these things, people get emboldened to do a lot of things when they are so sure that they will get away with it. Some of these humongous amount that we are talking about, even if it's the managing director or CEO that is there now, that has tampered with public funds, you will see that it's not just the man, it's a network. Because it got into a point in this country whereby people will just go to the CBN and just bring money out. It has happened in this country, and nobody has been sanctioned for that. So this money, the accumulated money that we are talking about now, that was now audited by Office of the Auditor General of the Federation in 2018, have been on since maybe around 2013. They've been spending those money. So these are where the problems lie. Ideally, any agency of government is supposed to audit whatever it was spent during a particular financial year, so that when you now come forward to defend your budget before the Senate, then you will say, okay, in 2020, this X amount of naira was allocated to us. This is the breakdown of how we spend the money. But that's no longer the case now. How can you be talking about 2018 accounts in 2022? So it means that when people keep on stealing money, there's no way to even know. This man now, he will wangle his way and leave office, and there will be nobody to call him to account. I'm so sure he wasn't there in 2013 when they were spending some of the money. So these are part of the problem. Because at most he will have a 4 or 5 year tenure as the CEO of that place. So it means that the inability to account, to do proper accounting, has been in that agency for quite a long time. It's not a recent thing. Because since they are talking about 2013 money, they will just be transferring money into private accounts. No, it's ridiculous.
All right. Sheyi, this issue of termite eating up documents in respect of the alleged missing 17 billion naira 17 billion naira from Social Insurance Trust Fund. If you look at this issue, like what they have said, 2013 accounts, now they are discovering that the termite has eaten up documents, backing up the expenditure. What do you have to say in this regard?
Anyway, first and foremost, I want to agree with the fact that termites are powerful. Yeah, termites are powerful, and but I've not read it anywhere that termites ate paper. And I won't blame the person that gave that excuse, because there are precedents before now. We were in this country together when a snake, like my boss said, swallowed 36 million naira, if I'm not mistaken. And up till now, I don't think there's any cogent or punishment attached to that. And also, we should not forget this man, this LDDC director, that fainted in the presence of. So now, people and the position of authority are just playing upon our collective intelligence, and they are directly, consciously, and indirectly, denigrating the little, if not all, little remaining integrity that this country has in the Committee of Nations. Because I couldn't imagine the account of the documents of 2013. Now, as a matter of fact, it's so, it's very wrong that you want to audit or you want to query what has happened some 9 years ago. That's aside, but now coming out to tell us that termite, I'm just trying to think of how come that termites were able to maneuver their ways to the cabinet to bring out or to eat up the document, and it shows that this, they call this thing a white lie and a black one. But if I should say now that the generation of Agbaripo and Co, are the one trying to giving us our hope, trying to letting us to know that then there's no hope, because I don't know the kind of lessons, I don't know the kind of value, I don't know the kind of message you are sending to the younger ones that are looking up to these people. And now tell us that this document has been written by termite is, in fact, it's against common sense. It's all hard. You don't know, but we are in Nigeria, and like I said, that the operators of our laws are the one giving us problem. We have we have good laws, but unfortunately, when it comes to the rich ones, those in position of authority, our law will become helpless. But if it comes to ordinary poor Nigeria, a man that stole a cat or stole a goat, within 30 to 20 days, his case has been settled, he has been sentenced to whatever, But when it comes to the big ones, that is where we're now having this lacuna of common bail and unfortunately, these people are just trying to denigrate the country the more.
All right, thank you, Sheyi. Now, let me come back to Shola. This issue of corruption in the country and finding so many adjectives to define the circumstances of each case, like this issue of termite now, does it sound logical? An agency like Social Insurance Trust Fund not having proper way of keeping record at this digital age, are you not worried about this?
Of course, one is more than worried. It is, like I said, it is a nauseating thing. It shows that there is either lack of purpose or deliberate act on the part of those who run the government of this country to actually run this country. Because we are talking of digital age now. We are talking of data. We are talking of documents. We are talking of this is a computer age, where every document, every information ought to be in software. But we are having a situation where Nigeria, with all the resources it has, with all the human and material resources, we still have to depend on the. Is it not the whole school or the analog system? At this age, at this century. So, that a lot is wrong with this country. A lot. And except, we keep dancing around the seat. Dancing around the seat on a daily basis. rather than face the realities of over time. The fact that we are a multi-ethnic or multilingual nation does not mean that we have to remain undeveloped. There are many countries in this world that have more population, more diversity than us, and they are picking up. It is an issue of leadership. I remember when India became independent, from Britain. Mahatma Gandhi was, the Indians were already used to wearing the British shirts and ties and shoes and all that. But Mahatma Gandhi said, well, India is not independent. I don't have money to import foreign textiles. Foreign, I say, no, how can we be, okay. So if you cannot wear the normal, the simple Indian dress, then you can go naked. Go to the street and go naked. When the people saw that this man was not going to change, today you can hardly know that India was colonized by Britain. Now India took the best of British technology, science out of the education, but rejected all the religious sentiments and all those things. Said they don't that we have a religion. We don't need your culture or religion. We can take your. Can you compare India to Nigeria today? India is a multi-ethnic nation too.
Yes.
Large population, but because the elites in Nigeria that succeeded the British, as a matter of fact, let me even separate the First Republic from now.
Yeah.
Now, those who are holding positions today, they no longer think Nigeria. They don't think Nigerian. So they don't think of the collective future interests of the people. They are so engrossed in their self-centeredness that they don't care what happens. And this is why you can see corruption of monumental dimensions that you can ever think of. If an Accountant General of the Federation, somebody was supposed to guard the treasury, to account for every penny spent, cannot account for over 100 billion. Accountant General. That name itself, Accountant General of the Federation. An accountant is supposed to guard the treasury, to prevent money from being pilfered or being misappropriated. And that same man now cannot account for over 100 billion. So what are you telling the generations yet to come? Because everything is history. So you cannot stop a young man who doesn't want to be a criminal or to be a part of the trade from staying in this country where there's no hope. He will jump ship, he will run away. He will run away. He will tell you that I cannot cope with the situation that will make me a criminal, but at the same time that will make me a failure. So this is why I just don't know what kind of what steps should not be. We need a revalued leadership or governance system that will take into account that Nigeria is a country that must be allowed to exist as a prosperous nation.
All right. Thank you, Shola. Wale, now, the country drifting away on daily basis on account of corruption and other related vices. Is this how we continue in this country?
Well, the direction in which we are going now, if I say it's not worrisome, then I must be deceiving myself. Because when you look at all the fronts, what you see is gloom. Like Shola mentioned the other time, a lot of people are leaving this country. They use one term now, japa, that just find a way to get out. They don't even care where you are going. Some of them don't even have any, probably not any destination in mind. Then they just leave. Maybe go to Ghana, from Ghana, then go elsewhere. Go to all these neighboring countries and go elsewhere. It's so sad that we now see people, when they get to Canada, when they get to UK, they'll be doing video and saying that they thank God that they've escaped the hell that Nigeria is now, according to them. Because most of the problems we are having now is centered around corruption and poor leadership. That's just it. Because it's a different ball game, probably as a country that is so blessed that you are able to harness your resources, get people to be engaged productively, so that you can build a prosperous country. But what we discover here is that that's not the case. Because at the heart of the Nigerian crisis is what I would call impunity now. People do things and they don't know burn is not nothing good. I saw the film clip of the Accountant General of the Federation. The man was not tense, he was at ease. He knew that all the money that they are putting on his head now, some people must have said, okay, I give so person so amount. So the man was laughing and said, how can is it even possible for me to steal all this money?
All right.
So these are the issues.
Okay. Now, Sheyi, is there a way out of this problem? Because really, it is a problem. It's a burden. Is there a way out?
Presently, with the present arrangement of the leadership, I think from my perspective anyway, as a young person, for now I don't see that. I don't think there's any way out. If you ask me why, I will tell you. In 2015, when President Buhari was campaigning, seeking for people to vote for him,
okay,
one of the promises he made was that he's going to fight corruption, and those that have looted this country, that is going to retrieve our money back, direct the money back to our economy. Yes, he started it. So people, he collected our money from the hands of few people that he saw. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, by the time we got our report, instead for us to be moving out of that corruption, we are just sinking the more. And I was telling a friend, it was not yesterday, that what has happened in the last 7 years, we might not know now, until those that are occupying those seats leave office, they will now see what has happened. I mean, the corruption that has happened. And the corruption are so eating deep even in our flesh, that if you see ordinary, young, promising Nigerian, if you ask him now, he will be telling you that if you go to politics, he's going there also to get his own cut of the shares, and also to enrich himself and that is family. That is what the crop of leaders we have now. That's what they have instilled in us. I mean, our own generation now. If you see a 30, a 20-something years old, if you ask him that, how do you think you can make this country better? He tell you that, alright. The only thing you have now is, let me get the opportunity, you have to be at Senate or the House of Assembly or whatever, so get my own share of this and that. So that's why I say it's very difficult. And also, if you are, for example, now if you want to contest now, we talked about the APC that sold their forms at the president form 100 million. If you want to contest now, if you don't have money, you have to put that can back you up. And those that will back you up financially, they stole this money from treasury. At the end of the day, if you now have good intention, you have good agenda, if it's against their own interest, forget it won't fly. They will frustrate you. So that's why I said it's very difficult. Our problem is a complicated one. That it's only, and I've not seen that kind of leadership that will now come to change. Because if you are to change that orientation, if you are to change that system, if you have to change that belief, we will start from the younger ones. The younger ones that have lost, like my boss said, every day people are leaving this country. They are japa. So if you now see them, the remaining one, if you have an opportunity to bring that result through, either as a governor or as a commissioner, they also want to, because you imagine that someone that you know in your street some few years ago now has the opportunity to become the chairman of a council. Within 2-3 years, is now having a very good mansion inside the GRA. So you now ask, so even about me that I've been working for the past 10 years, for the past 15 years, I've not able to even to acquire a land. So that the message they have instilled in us, the younger ones, is that once you have the opportunity, you also go there and make your own money.
All right. Now, thank you, gentlemen. Let's go to the second topic of our discussion. PDP crisis. I have no plan to resign. I have 4 years mandate. That is coming from the PDP chairman, Senator Yochia. Are you? Shola? Now, the PDP crisis seems to be festering almost on a daily basis. The party is divided into two camps now, one for Atiku, one for Wike. Now, the camp of Wike is clamoring that Ayu should resign, and Ayu is now insisting that he won't resign. What does this portend for the survival of the party?
Well, first of all, we must understand the inherent or the fundamental problem of PDP. I've always said that PDP has leadership problem. It has leadership problem. And when you look at even the current crisis, it's a product of that problem. Now, of course, the party used to operate on, on zoning, that zoning principle.
Okay.
Well, if situation can change a system, I mean, one has to, a situation can change a system that you have, depending on the exigencies of time. Well, that system was jettisoned now in the emergence of Atiku Abubakar.
Yeah.
Now, a properly led organization will now devise how that problem, which has been created by situational change, can be managed to the extent that it will not destroy the organization or impair the future of that organization. And that is exactly what the PDP leadership ought to be concerned with now. Now, Atiku has emerged as president.
As presidential
candidate. There was a committee which was set up. The committee chose Wike. Now, the presidential flag bearer felt he could not work with Wike. He chose Okowa. Well, it can be. I mean, everybody has his own. But then, how does the PDP manage the emerging problem the jettisoning of the zoning or the zoning formula or principle has created? That should be the concern of the PDP stakeholders now. I see no reason why the chairman of the party would now be insisting that he is not leaving. If he actually has the party interest at heart, and if actually is exhibiting, he can be made to exhibit leadership quality or leadership capacity. I think the question, I mean, the question any of the stakeholders of PDP should answer is that do we want this party to win and remain the same, or we want the party to contest election and lose? So that should be paramount to the leadership of PDP, and it's only the leadership of the PDP that can solve the problem it has created. Because in the first instance, I want to ask you, if you know that at the end of the day, the presidential flag bearer will have the leeway to choose or to decide, why set up a committee in the first instance? And if you now set up a committee, and of course your flag bearer felt that the person you have chosen is not okay for him, why can't you just find a way to dance around it and solve this problem? So if it will take, if resigning for Ayu is the solution, why not take it? If actually they have the interest, if actually even Ayu himself has the interest for that party at heart, is it compulsory that he must be the chairman when the configuration of that party, political configuration of that party has changed? So the riddle is now left for the party itself to solve. If there's a problem, there should be a solution. This is why we have strategists and thinkers. There's a problem, then what is the solution? I think that solution lies with the PDP itself. I don't believe that anybody should insist on sticking to a position when he knows that position, by sticking to it, will impair the collective interest of the party or of the organization that he represents.
All right. Wale, What do you have to say about the chairman of PDP, Senator Ayu, insisting that he still has to be in office despite the hues and cry from the opposing camp?
Well, I think this cut across the parties. When you have parties who have little or no regards for their own constitution, then there's a problem. Because the constitution of the party should be the ground norm on which you run a party. It's going to give room for party discipline. That what that means is that nobody is too big to be disciplined within the party, because there are various organs that could at any level take care of what we are witnessing in the PDP now. What we have now is a crisis of confidence. There have been betrayal of trust at quite a number of levels. So those who felt aggrieved, particularly the Wike group, okay, if we are a member of this party and we have contributed so much and we are being treated like this, then okay, let's see how far they can go. Because the PDP is about to face an election, a general election, where it has a presidential candidate. And like they say, politics is a game of numbers.
Yes.
And Wike, who is crime being shot, that the party has shortchanged him at various levels during the primaries, then after, when they nominated him to be the VP, he has every ground to be agreed. But what is of utmost importance is that, as we speak, does the PDP as a party have a crisis resolution mechanism? I doubt it.
Okay.
So, as we move gradually into the 2023 election, there are signs now that we came from the south, particularly River State, with over 1 million votes. And he has almost what I would call a cultic following in Rivers. So the PDP cannot afford to joke with somebody like Wike. And he's doing it to them now. He's showing them, talking to members of the opposition, that, okay, if you don't recognize us, we have options. He can stay within the party and still tell people, vote for candidate A, B, or C. It's within his right. You know, these are issues. It happened within our own state. Some people felt aggrieved in the APC. They stayed in the party and caused collateral damage at the end of the day. So who says that will not happen if the crisis is not well managed? Because this is not a time for somebody to be saying, no, I won't do this, no, I won't do that. Because the balancing, even according to the constitution of the party, has been altered. So ordinarily, you know that a lot of people will feel aggrieved. So the best thing is to look for ways and say, okay, since the presidential candidate is now from the north, let us find a southerner to be the chairman of the party. That will bring the state confidence in people. Okay, even if it's not going to be from River State, it could be from any other state. That, okay, now we have a southerner there, so that every other person will be able to rally people around. That was what Ayu was saying before the PDP Congress. So after maybe he's now enjoying the place. I said, this place is, the man didn't want to go again. So it's like a man that is saying, even if this house is going to collapse on me, let it collapse. I'm on this chair. He's now telling them that he has a commissioner mandate of 4 years. 4 years to be doing what? As the chairman of the party, you should be concerned about how you are going to win the next election. So if he's going to take the sacrifice of that your seat. And if you are a loyal and committed party person, you should be willing to do it. The party is as good as being relevant when it continues to win an election. And one issue is this: if the PDP fails to win in 2023, it will still affect the number of states. It will continue to decimate the number of states being controlled by the PDP. That's obvious. It's clear. And the loss of somebody like Wike will be a monumental loss to the PDP.
All right. Thank you, Wale. Okay. What do I have to say about this PDP crisis, which seems to be ready to take toll on the party?
Thank you so much. I think the first thing I want to let us to understand is the fact that Central has not committed any offense. Unlike, I could remember, I used to say that, even my mother used to say that, for us to have a very good and a robust political party that will present the good ones for us, the party must be empowered by their constitution to run independently without any interference. We talk about governor being the leader of the party, president being the leader of the party. And on this one, Central contested for that position. He campaigned throughout the country. Canvassed the party members, told them what he wants to do. And also, we should not forget that Governor Wike contested to be the presidential candidate of the party.
Yes.
He told Atiku and others. And I could remember vividly, Governor Wike said that whoever emerges, he is ready to support and give his total support. And he cannot leave PDP for once. That I said it pays him for him to still with malaria-stricken PDP than to go to cancerous APC. He said it. But already once President speak, you can only take the two out of his statement. But let's see, if you now look at following the trajectory of this party some years back, you remember the case of Audu Ogbe. That was, during the Obasanjo's era, asked to retire. Come to Bulafo, place of Bulafo was an alleged of misappropriation, Mazu of 2015. So, but you now ask, even in APC, you see how hardly you see a chairman that will finish his tenure. Is that just asked to resign or just molest him with disgrace out of office? Oyegu of APC, Shomale. So it's everywhere. But on this one, yes, Atiku contested, Wike contested. Assuming Wike won that president the contest, we don't have to say that I used to resign. Yeah, we know that we are taking on the balancing of it is that one is not it should be a kind of moral agreement. Not that you lost the election, you lost to Atiku. It doesn't mean that you must now use everything you have by virtue of your number, your strength, your state to further relegate the party. The party, even Wike himself confessed that the party made him what he is today. But once their interest or what they are targeting is not forthcoming, they can do anything to make sure they work against the party. And that's it's not the best. We're talking of Oshu. Yeah. Is that the best thing? We are talking of want to have a good democratic setting, want to have a good governance. So and now as a party member, that you call say a party lower party member, working against your party. So Wike that is now calling that I should resign. On what basis? Yes, we know now that the candidate has come from the north, and that is the ground. That now, if that one should be a kind of paddy arrangement, not that you now mount pressure on him that because you have lost, and we should not forget that the candidate has the right to choose whoever wants to be his running mate because they are the one they're working together. So, and the committee, I think, Wike was one of those that the committee presented to the candidate, and he said, after this, I'll pick this one. It's within his right. If candidate is Wike that won, the same thing Wike we also follow.
All right, Sheyi, thank you. Now, Because of our time, let's move to the third topic of our discussion for today. Shola, Army ready to deal with terrorism, Chief of Army Staff? Is the Chief of Army Staff just waking up to the call?
We have had that several times. On top of the situation, terrorists, we have we'll be given no space to operate. We have decimated, we have technically defeated them. So we have had all sorts of assurances that no longer fly. Nigerians are no longer interested in assurances without concrete results. So you can give assurances. There's one thing that this government seems to be missing. You see, we are talking of terrorism, terror war. Terror war is not conventional war. Terror war is guerrilla. It's guerrilla war. Terror war demands a lot more of intel gathering, and proactiveness, and of course, sincerity. Government is losing the terror war because of so many problems that a lot of people are merchandising. There are a lot of officers in the military that are merchandising. They are merchandising on this terror war. So as long as those elements are still there unchecked, then there is no end to terror war. Secondly, as long as the political language, or let me say the body language of the man who runs the government, still connotes alliances, primary alliances to some sections of the country over the other, the terror war will not end. So we should have a government that is transparently committed to end the terror war, and then we should have security agencies that are intel-based, intel-oriented. You gather information, and you act on such information. But a situation where the national security, somebody who calls himself the national security advisor, will even ignore 44 security reports, 44 security reports, and he ignore it, then you are talking of winning terror war. What kind of war are you winning? And the terrorists actually carried out that threat. They invaded Kuje prison in the heart of the federal capital, some kilometers away to Aso Rock, with all the arsenals of war, and they were there for 3 hours, and they left. We are talking of that. The army the army chief was not talking of an assurance. Before that time, terrorists invaded the Kaduna International Airport on bikes, and they left. And we are talking of a government committed to terror, eliminating terror. So all these months, the identities of those who invaded cannot be traced. A country that's already linked, has spent billions of naira or dollars to digitalize Nigerians, the identities and all that, all the phones linked to a digital network, and yet those people are still working free. So there are a lot of issues to be. Nigerians no longer need assurances. In fact, we don't need any statement for any chief of army staff. Let him just do his job for people to see. And I see no reason why the man claiming to be national security advisor is still in that office. This is what you call integrity. A lot of people holding positions of authority in Nigeria, they have no integrity. The national security advisor still on that seat when the entire country is being circled by terrorists. The national security advisor that will ignore 44 security reports is still there. He has not been fired. So what are we talking about?
All right. So thank you. Wale, how many ready to deal with terrorism? How to what extent can you attach importance to this comment coming from the Chief of Army Staff?
From our own end here, I would say I've had such platitudes time and time over again. And I think the job of a soldier or the military is to plan and ensure that they launch, even if we are talking about a very unconventional war now, they need strategies to get those things that will bring results. And the country under General Muhammadu Buhari has spent a fortune on getting the army equipped, but unfortunately we are not getting the result that is commensurate with that kind of spending. Unfortunately, the army itself today, like when this General Saliu, I suppose, was leaving, he said the army has become an army of everything is possible.
Anything goes.
Anything goes. And when you look, and that was just after Abibi left, so many years back, things have further degenerated in the army. So from the top command, everybody is looking for money. So we have cases whereby money got missing, money that is meant for operation got missing. And it's even sad that quite a number of the junior officers are in sync with these so-called terrorists. So if you are fighting a battle and you have people inside who are already sold out, then there's a problem. We've read in the news countless times that the Nigerian members of the Nigerian forces would just run into an ambush, just like that. It means somebody is giving them information. Look at the Aroti case, one of the brightest, highly intelligent officer, and he was pounding them on the war front. Look at the way she died. Did you see anything happen?
Nothing.
And nothing has happened. So the problem we have is that our problem as a country is not just systemic. It is so bad that everywhere you turn now, everybody is not thinking about this country anymore. Everybody is thinking about it, and it's funny. Because most of the people who are doing these things, they still stay here. Some still get killed, even within the system. Yorùbá sọ wípé akọ tí ó ń balẹ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àbáwọn náà ṣe. You know, a lot of things, people who are so determined to feed fat on the system. At every, if you are going on the road, the policeman will stop you and say, "Let me see your phone." The IG said nobody should check any phone. We still see cases like that every day. It means that even from the top, the command chain is very weak. That's the meaning. There was a time when General Buhari said all the army chiefs should move to the war zone. They stayed there for maybe a week or so, go back to Abuja. Because either they are there or not there, they are making money already. They are making tons of money. And unfortunately, even at the level of the Senate, we've not seen, okay, let us see line by line. We bought helicopters, we have bought this, we have bought that. There's no room for that. You say it's a security matter. So it's just like, you just take money and you throw it into the sea. So, and nobody is, unfortunately, you don't get people to be accountable. Nigeria is, that's why we keep on saying that this country is going down. Or nobody, you can't call anybody to account.
All right. Well, thank you, Sheyi. Now, I'm ready to deal with terrorism. Like my guests have said, this is not the first time of this remark or comment coming from an highly placed officer. Now, with this one now, can we now say that the system has changed in favor of the operational standard of the army?
I think the first thing we need to understand is that the chief of army staff doesn't need to give us that statement by just word of mouth. That statement should have shown by the action, by what they have done or what they are doing presently in terms of winning the war.
Okay.
And I think prior to Osun governor's election, I was opportunity to meet with one very high, one of the high echelon in the military. Okay. And he told me that, all right, if this war must stop, it will start from the presidency. He told me. He said it, if this war must end, because in fact, the man just came back from Sambisa. He said, if this war must end, it will start from the presidency. So I want to believe he knows what he's saying. And we should not take away the fact that Senator Smart already said it at the level of the plenary that Nigeria should come down from their high offices and seek for help. They should seek for help, and we should not. I also, when I used to make reference, when Buhari was coming, he told me that he's a former general and he's still a general, that he knows how to tackle this issue. That he just give them some months, that he knows how to fix these people up, and I think less than a year, the Minister of Information came out, to tell us that the president, the government has tactically or technically so now that the set that so you have technically defeated, now still they have even more, they have become more emboldened day by day. So I think the best thing for the Nigeria to do, the government to do now, is to seek for international help to help us, because as we are going, it's become so dangerous. Even here in Osun, we had a series of issues, security issues that personally have been engaged in one or two that I told those in the government. This is what is happening. How do we solve it? So it's every year. So the government now, the only thing we can do now, we've tried our best. I said it. We bought a helicopter, bought this, bought that, and the result are not. And my brother used to say that the effort are good, but the results are better. So what we want is the results, not that you just be telling us, and this government is less than a year to go. And tell you that, guys, calm down, we are going to win this war. Where maybe miracle can see happen.
All right, so thank you very much. Now, our time is fast spent, and I have to appreciate my guest on the program, Shola. Thank you for coming on board.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Wale, I also appreciate your coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much.
See, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Nana.
All right, viewers, this is where we are going to stop for today on our program. Tomorrow is another day when you join my colleague on the fresh edition of the program in the newsroom. Until then, I am Kayode Adebayo. Bye-bye.
Mondays to Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
òun là kára alé ẹ̀rìn wá báyìí òun là kérò ọ̀nà eléyìí ni mo fi ń kí gbogbo wa káàbọ̀ sí abala ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí wa tòní eléyìí tíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun mú wá fún wa pé kí gbogbo wa ti kéré ti kéré nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ká lè gbé wa ọmọlúàbí wọ̀ bí ẹ̀wù ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí wa tòní ẹ̀yin ọmọ iléèwé òun mà ló bá wí gbogbo ọmọ iléèwé bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti alákọ̀ọ́bẹ̀rẹ̀ títí tó fi dé iléèwé gíga ẹ̀yin lọ́rọ̀ tòní bá wí o ẹ súnmọ́ bí ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ gbogbo àwọn àtúbọ̀tán tó wà nínú gbogbo àwọn ìwà ìbàjẹ́ eléyìí tá à ń wù láwọn iléèwé wa gbogbo àti láwùjọ ẹ jẹ́ á rántí pé ìgbà ọ̀tọ̀ lọ bí òréré ohunkóhun tá a bá sì ṣe lónìí ó di dandan ká kájọ rẹ̀ lẹ́yìn wá ọ̀la ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ dé orí ìtẹ́ ìkìlọ̀ ká gbọ́ ohun tó wà àgbà tòní ní fún wa.
orúkọ mi ni bàbá ọlọ́fà àná ìbáwí ò sí mọ́ ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ìbáwí sì bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti inú yàrá àyà èèyàn títí tẹ́ dáàrin ẹ̀dẹ̀ tẹ́ dàgbòlé ká tó ẹ̀sìn á lọ iléèwé ẹ̀yin ọmọ wa agbára tọ́lọ̀ ń fún kẹ́ ẹ lè fi ṣiṣẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ fi ranra yín lọ́ni o láti fi dàlúrú ọ̀dà kódà láti jọ ńgbà táwa ní primary secondary school àwọn olùkọ́ wa níyì púpọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ wa bólùkọ́ bá ń gbáwájú ta ẹlòmíà sì máa sá kọ́mọ́rì mi kì í ṣe pólùkọ́ ń pààyàn jẹ ìbẹ̀rù iyì náà là ń fólùkọ́ tòde òní ò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o ìní ò ní kàwé yóò pé tíṣà ò fún máàkì tó tó ẹ máa lọ dènà de tíṣà lọ́nà kódà bọ́ba yìí ò rí yín tọ̀run ń wò yín o ẹ má dé olùkọ́ lọ́nà olùkọ́ òun àwọn làgbà àwọn ní kọ́ gbogbo ẹni tọ́jú lórí orílẹ̀-èdè ọ̀sẹ̀ tó lè rìn kó pé tó olùkọ́ bá wo ẹ̀yin òbí kan sì ń bẹ tí wọ́n bá bá ọmọ yín wí ẹ wà á rè kó wílígánsì ẹ rò èkó kọ́ olùkọ́ mọ́lé tàbí léèwé ṣe ń rere nu tó sì ṣe pé ọmọ yín náà àmọ́ṣẹ́ tí ó ṣe lọ́la ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀yin ìyá tẹ̀ ń dégbẹ́lẹ̀ lẹ́gbẹ́ tá a mọ̀ tá a gbọ́dọ̀ sọ́kọ ẹ̀yin ilẹ̀ ń hùwà yìí àwọn èèyàn ń rí yín o wọ́n mọ̀ yín ládùúgbò bó bá yá òkè tí ó ború mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́ aráàlú òfin rẹ̀ dẹ́yẹ sí tẹ́ ẹ bá wò pé bàbá yín àbọ́kọ yín òun ló wà nípò lókè nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ẹ lè sunrunjọ́ méjì lágọ̀ọ́ ọlọ́pàá tẹ́ ẹ wálé tọ́lọ́ ń bá fún rẹ̀ dé mọ́lẹ̀ tó fún rẹ̀ tì í mọ́lé kò sí ní tẹ́ ẹ ṣe o ẹ jẹ́ àmọ́ yín ọmọ pé ní tí ọ̀dà ni àmọ́ ọmọ lọ iléèwé kọ́ lọ́ọ́ kọ́gbọ́n ni ẹni ẹ bá sì kọ́ lọ́gbọ́n ẹ mẹ́gbà lọ ẹ fẹ́ gbà náà tí wọ́n bá na ọmọ tí ẹ pò kubi tíjà òrìn kì í ṣe ń ré o ẹ tú ọ́ ń birú ẹ̀.
ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ ò fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ iléèwé bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti iléèwé alákọ̀ọ́bẹ̀rẹ̀ títí dé iléèwé gíga ẹ jẹ́ ká jáwọ́ nínú ohun gbogbo tó bá lè domi àlàáfíà iléèwé wa rú ẹ jẹ́ á rántí o fìlà ẹ̀tẹ́ fìlà àbùkù ọmọlúàbí ìbáwọ̀dé ẹ jẹ́ ká jẹ́ ọmọlúàbí nínú ohun gbogbo tá a bá ń ṣe iléeṣẹ́ ìròyìn àti ìlanilọ́yẹ̀ ará ìlú nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ló ń ṣèkìlọ̀ ìwà ó dàbọ̀.